Hi, Francie. Good morning, everybody. Hi, Sippy Sips. Sippy Sips. Ooh, look at Bunny's magnificent fat tail. Wow, it's so special. What happened, Bunny? Oh, I've never seen a bunny with such a fluffy tail. Bunny, what do you see? Oh, it's so puffy. Show everyone your special tail. Oh my goodness, a special bunny tail. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I've never seen such a bunny tail. Ooh. Get her. Okay. Look out some litter. The scoop. Oh, bunny. So wound up this morning, huh? I guess you can't. Oh, you can see the shadow. You can see Jack's shadow on the wall. I wonder if I put this up, you'll be able to see. Oh, there he is. Bunny. Ooh, a special bunny. Do I have any? Do I have any updates? I don't know. I don't think so. So we just leaped over Bunny. Oh, look, Panther's. Look, Panther's attacking Jag's shadow on the wall. That's funny. Bunny's got fat tail again. So Panther will be here until the 7th. 3 more days. Dawn misses him a lot. I'm going to miss him when he leaves because he's such a little lap kitten. He just anytime I sit down, when he's not in super play mode, he will just come and get right in my lap and start purring and purring. And when I'm trying to work, he has to be right next to me or on my laptop. Or curled up behind. He likes to curl up behind it and go to sleep too. He's just a little sweetie pie. And he's gotten a little bit more brave, which is good. Because that was always the thing we were worried about with him. Look at Siberia. Oh, get him. Look at that ferocious pantheroo. Giving him a bop on the head. The first time we brought kittens, or we introduced our teens to some kittens, which litter was it? I think it was actually me. I'm talking to the internet. You should have seen Bunny. Bunny had the fattest tail you've ever seen. It was very impressive. Ooh, Prancy. Someone gonna feed you? Anyway. It was with the fairy kittens before we knew they had ringworm. And Pantheroo would get so excited, but he knew that he knew he wasn't supposed to hurt them. But he was so excited and he wanted to play with them, so he would kind of look at them and then he would jump over them, back and forth over them, and then eventually he'd work up the courage to gently bop them on the head. And it was hilarious. And then they would try to nurse on him and Bunny too. I don't know that Bartlett's had that much attempted nursing. Panther. Look at the panther. He's so wound up right now. So wound up. Right, Bunnard? Bunny. What a gorgeous bunny. I guess everybody's moved past their bowls and boxes stage. I didn't see anyone sleeping in that. I am going to Laps today, and I'm going to bring, I set up the other computer in here with the cam so that I could bring, I only have one more spare laptop, which I had been using in here, but I'm going to bring to Laps and so that Kim can see her babies. There probably won't be audio, I'm guessing, although they know a little bit more how to operate the camera stuff now, so maybe. And hopefully, I don't know what kind of lighting situation there is at night, but at least we'll be able to see them in there together. And at least they're together in there. Oh, Bunny, you're so special. Bunny is so special. Panther loves the bottom underneath doors too. He's sticking his paw under, trying to lure the bunny. So anyway, I think that's all I have. Nothing exciting. We don't know yet about Leo and Bob, how long they'll have to be there. I've offered to take them here too if it ends up being a long time. But it's up to Kim and Keith and, whatever they decide to do. Whatever's best for the kittens. Panther got me. Yes, Laps is. Last year I tried to propose a webcam for Laps. And it was the one where you could play with the cats over the internet, and they weren't sold on the whole idea. But now I think with Tiny Kittens and the Timber Cam, they're much more comfortable with it. So that is fantastic. I think it's cool. Oh, I know. So this Leo situation is quite baffling. And there's not a lot of good research on ringworm, particularly in a shelter setting. And it's, I don't know how to put this. It is possible to be a carrier of ringworm, but we don't know, I don't know if that means that there are just spores somewhere or if there's some sort of infection. I don't know exactly what that means, and it's hard to find a clear answer on that, and nobody seems to know for sure. Because in that situation, I don't know where the spores would be. Like if you have a cat with a lesion, a ringworm lesion, it's clear that the spores have taken hold and are growing because the hair follicle becomes infected, and so then they're producing more spores, right? It's not clear to me on a cat with no lesions where the spores are coming from, versus if the cat was kind of like a dust mop and had attracted some spores from the environment and that caused a positive. I'm sure that's more confusing than it was before, but so with some of them also, the first round of testing that I did was before the lesions showed up. So the incubation period can be, it's typically 14 days, but could be longer than that. It could be 2 to 4 weeks, but it's usually around 14 days. So because the spores are so microscopic, they can be starting to get to work, but you won't see evidence of that right away. And so I think that's how, like, Margay and a couple of them tested negative that first time and then became positive. Leo's situation is different though, and it's extra baffling to me anyway, because he's never had a lesion. Just like Siberia, he and Siberia never had lesions. Siberia has never had a positive test. He's been negative 4 times. That was a good pounce. And Leo had that one culture positive, which I thought was because they were in a carrier all together for quite some time. And a couple of them still were positive at that point. And then after that, he got a negative. And so it's unusual to see this go negative, positive, sort of thing. So I personally am baffled. Obviously, I'm not an expert, but I'm baffled and sort of in denial, so probably not the best source of information, but I'm just trying to figure out if there's a way that we can rule out environmental contamination versus Leo actually being infected with ringworm, if that makes any sense. The PCR test is 100% definitive that there were ringworm spores on his toothbrush. Because what they do for the test is they take a toothbrush and they do a minimum of 30 strokes all over the cat to get a bunch of hair and stuff, and then they send that away to the lab, and they do it's like a DNA splicing magical thing where even if there's a teeny tiny amount of it, they can sort of magnify the amount that they find and then definitively use DNA testing to determine that it is M. canis or whatever variety of ringworm it is. And so that's what the positive he got this time. He's the only one out of everyone. I'm not sure, but I think Ocelot is going on Monday to get his second one. But we've had 8 double negatives at this point. So everybody else, like everybody here, has been cleared. But the PCR test means that there was at least a spore on Leo. So to me, it's just a matter. It's extremely possible that there was a spore on his blanket, or there was something in the environment that would have gotten on him. I just don't know enough about the new test, and I don't know. I mean, there are some anomalies with Leo's situation that to me don't make sense. So, anywho, that's a really long-winded, rambly answer that probably demonstrates how baffled I am. Yes, they use a brand new clean, right out of the package toothbrush for every test. And then they put it right into a Ziploc bag and send it to a lab. And Bobcat came back negative. But she's with Leo for a couple of reasons. One, because we were all kind of concerned about Leo being there by himself in isolation, because he's never really been alone before. And wow, that was amazing. That was quite a takedown, if I didn't see it. Epic battle. Full of rambunctious this morning. Anyway, so of any of them to come back positive, I would have expected Bob. Bob would seem the most likely to come back positive still. Anyway, so we'll just have to see what happens. And Laps has a ton of experience with ringworm. And they typically do adopt out after one negative if people are aware of the situation. So that's not anything unusual. I think many shelters do that. Where are you going? Stevie Sims. But anyway, not great news. Definitely not what we were. Well, I don't, so the PCR test kind of changes things, because previously the culture test can be difficult to read, and takes 2 weeks to get results back. And so I suspect that the new PCR test will change the protocols to some extent, but I don't think that I think the only thing the Leo situation gives us is an occurrence where a second negative came back positive, because I don't know that that's ever happened before. So usually once they're negative, they're negative. So that's, but we do the second one just for, just to make sure. I don't know if Jane's listening, she can chime in. So there's some debate about how long we have to wait before we can get him retested. Every vet kind of has their own different answer based on what they've experienced in the past, and I know Dr. Ferguson is consulting with some specialists, so we're kind of waiting to hear back about, how long we have to wait. I'm of the opinion that sooner rather than later, just because of my own personal state of denial. Just because Panther saw the black and white kitty and got all puffed up. That's funny. So anyway, I don't know. I'll keep you posted if I hear anything, but it's certainly not what we were expecting or hoping for. And poor Kim having to do all the cleaning, and now she's without her babies, and they were just starting to get settled in, and it's just kind of upsetting for all of us. Except Panther. Oh, Panther. So ferocious. Such a ferocious Panther. Alright, well, I'm going to head out. I'm going to go to laps in a bit, so there will be a Leo Bobz cam, hopefully, at some point. Alright, bye. I'm going to put the sound back off again because it's noisy up here a little.